right, so I need to give y'all another update on this hashtag WIG 2023 winter indoor growing. I can't seem to do it weekly, so this is the 4-week update. Okay. So I'm going to start with carrots, my most ambitious. Carrots are doing amazing. I did try adding more soil, some light and fluffy soil, because they were getting leggy. But I did not really have it moistened enough, so it's basically just dry peat moss covering the legs. But it is keeping the top from drying out. It's very moist down there if you dig down with your finger. So I think we're doing really well. Got lots of nice true leaves. They look healthy. I think and I hope the legginess will figure itself out. If not, I do have some moistened peat moss mix there, and I could load that in. So I'm gonna put this on the floor for right now. I moved all the plants in here just so there's not that glare like that was in the last video. I felt like those grow lights were interfering. They were a distraction from the plants. My wine is distracting as well to me. It's about 10 in the morning. Breakfast wine. Let's do the lettuces. I need to get these out of here, okay? It's been 4 weeks. So these were planted on the 10th of December. It is now January 6th. Sorry, yes, it's January 6th. There was a bunch of stuff on the news today. Okay. So here's my tennis ball. Condensation dripping all over the floor. That's why I like these containers. I have not had to water these, not one time since I planted them, because the lid stays closed and all the moisture stays in there. So, but they are starting to like bleach out a little bit. They need to be potted up and they need to be moved up closer to the lights. So I'm gonna work on that today. This is my German chamomile. Look how beautiful. I am gonna pot these up today into a bigger container with drainage holes because the lid needs to come off and they're going to need to be watered regularly, and that water's going to have to drain. So these I did not water regularly. I don't know if you can tell, there's some dead ones in there because yesterday I came home from work and they were dry and crispy, up real close to the lights, just dry and crispy. This is my summer savory. And so I watered them last night, and this morning I was happy to see that some of them resuscitated. Okay, and some of them, well, they're just DOA. Okay, that's on me. Anyway, but I got a few here to save. So summer savory I think will be okay. I'm going to pot these up, pot them a little bit deeper so they're not so leggy, and these should bush out and make a nice big healthy plant that I can harvest herbs from, because that is the goal. This little container is the Roman chamomile. It's a little bit of a longer stemmed, longer leafed, whereas the German is more frilly and curly and short. It's more long and slender. It's interesting. And then did not get real good germination on the winter savory. Look, I got like 3. Got 3, and only 2 of them look healthy. That's okay. Okay, we're gonna pop them up. Now, I am very pleased with this chervil. Chervil looks wonderful. Look at all those true leaves. Reminds me a bit of parsley. So we will pot these up today as well. Plant them a little bit deep because they are extremely leggy. And this soil in here is only maybe a ½ inch deep, and it's very barky, and it dries out really fast. And there's many a day I come home and they're all like, you know, well, they're dying. Basically, it's dying, and then I have to water them and they perk back up, and that's not good to let your plants like die and come back and die and come back and die. You can only resuscitate them so many times before they won't come back for you. So I'm gonna work on that today. Now, I think that's everything except for the dwarf tomatoes, micro dwarf tomatoes. I'm real sad about that. Okay, it's been a month almost, been 4 weeks. And I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 out of 12. I have 5. So I'm going to be reseeding the ones that did not germinate. I'm going to reseed them because I only put 1 seed per cell. We're going to do that again for the ones that did not germinate. The ones that did germinate, I'm going to pot them up into a bigger pot. Okay. So the ones that did germinate, and actually these were looking really sad and really sickly for the last week. And it wasn't until yesterday when I looked at them, I was like, oh, okay, they got their act together or figured something out, you know, internally, and decided they wanted to live. And so now they've really perked up and they've really started to grow. And I'm really excited about this Groovy Tunes because it has more of a chartreusey foliage. Look at that light green foliage on the Groovy Tunes. So that one's doing great. These were done December 10th. Like I said, it's January 6th. So the ones that did germinate on this other side here are the Bonsai Microdwarf. That's this tall one in the middle, Bonsai. This one on the end here is Purple Boy, and the stem is a little more purple than the others, so that's fun. This one here on the corner, this one I thought had dampened off because it was just a stem for the longest time with no leaves on top at all. It was just a green stick, and I'm like, oh, well, that damped off. That's not going to do anything, but it did. And this is Fat Frog, so I have a little Fat Frog. And then of course the Distasteful Golden Hour. The very beautiful yet distasteful Golden Hour is very healthy and vigorous. So anyway, all the other ones, I'm not going to name them off. I'll do that maybe later when I reseed them. Anyway, these will be potted up. What I'm going to pot up my tomatoes into are, I know y'all have these these foil trays left over from Christmas and Thanksgiving. I always save mine. I don't know if y'all do, because they're great for stuff like this. Okay, so these pots here are kind of fun. These pots are actually plastic feet to a cardboard pallet. We had a pallet delivered to work. Anyway, you don't need to know what it was, a pallet. And when we were done with the box that was on top of that pallet, I'm like, oh my gosh, those feet look like something I could use. I popped one off. It's got holes at the bottom. It's very thick and heavy duty because it's pallet feet. It has to hold heavy things. Anyway, genius. I saved them, recycling. So anyway, the dwarf tomatoes are going to go in these, in here. I have another pallet in the garage, so I can show you that later. I can show you what the pallet looked like because I have to take those feet off because I'm going to need them as well once I have 12. So I have 6 pots here. That other pallet should have 6 feet on it as well, and that will take care of all 12 of my microdwarfs. So that's a little bit fortuitous. I think the universe wanted that to happen, so it happened. For these other things, like the lettuces and the herbs, I really need to think about what type of container I want to put them in, because I do have more of these foil trays, and I feel like the foil trays is going to be the best bet to keep all of my bigger pots together where I can water them under the grow lights and not have, you know, when you put these separate little trays under each little thing, these trays all butted up together, you lose a lot of space in the middle, is all I'm trying to say. And so instead of having a bunch of little pots with little drip trays underneath, I'd rather put the pots in one big thing that I can then put on the racks under the grow lights, if that makes sense. Anyway, okay. All right, so that is kind of my week 4 update. I am going to work on potting everything up today. I'm also going to work on getting my flowers started for 2024, so that's going to be exciting. So you'll probably see several videos from me that are recorded today. It is Saturday the 6th, and I'm going to try to knock some things out. It's really cold and wet. We had a lot of storms and stuff yesterday, so it's really wet, really cold, really damp, so I can't use my chipper shredder mulcher, which makes me sad. And we have more storms on Monday, so it's going to be at least another week before I can use my chipper shredder again, because I need everything to be kind of dry. Anyway, this is not a video about that. I'm about to go off. It's been 10 minutes. All right, so I want to thank you guys so much for watching this video. This is my 4-week update for the hashtag WIG 2023, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.